Okay, welcome, gentlemen, to Tanya in Outside In, chapter Lamed Gimel, our second share. So we're holding on page Mem Beis, right at the bottom of the page, in the middle of the line, three lines up, the Zeh. Um, and we were talking about, we were getting back involved in the oneness of Hashem. The Rebbe brought in the moshel of the ray of light, how in this world it's measurable, which means it's individual. And if you chase it back to its source, you follow it back to its source, you'll realize that it's completely subsumed within its source. And he says that's how it is for us. That's how it is for us, that we are like, I mean, again, the moshel, the great moshel is the moshel of the what we're looking at right now. The picture that we see right now on the screen has no mamashas to it, and it hasn't changed the screen in any way whatsoever. And that's how it is in a sense with the Ribono Shel Olam, that we are still subsumed. But you could take it further because that was Einstein's Chiddush, no? That matter and energy is the same thing. Like matter is just congealed energy. That's all it is. So in that sense, the actual screen itself and the chashmal, the electricity that's producing the image, well, I mean, what, it's all one. So, it's just the whole thing is one big um illusion. I don't like that word illusion, but one big I can't think of another word really. But illusion gives the idea that it's not important, but it is important. It's infinitely important. It's just it appears to be something that it isn't. I think that's the best way of saying it. Shalom Laser.
What about projection?
Yeah, yeah, same thing, but it's all the the picture on the screen, whether it's a projection or whether it's an actual LCD screen or LED screen, it doesn't have any mamashas to it in itself. So it's just it's again, to call it an illusion is not correct from our perspective because then kashrus doesn't matter. Um, um, and putting on tefillin doesn't matter. So it's not an illusion. It's just it's not what it appears to be. Yeah, it appears to be something unto itself. That's incorrect. Just like the ray of light is coming from the sun, yeah? If you put some kind of interposition between the ray of light and the sun, the ray of light stops being. That's called shadow. Yeah, you created a shade. You've blocked the light from you've blocked the light. So how real is the light? I mean, it's real, but it's not real unto itself. That's the same as us. That's why having your own agenda is so crazy. That's why being interested in anything other than serving the Ribono Shel Olam is just weird. Just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's like a ray of light who feels that he's like, he's become his own man. And like I'm now independent. Yeah, I'll help out Hashem. I'll pull my weight. I'll do my bit. But when you really kind of plug it in, you realize that you not being utterly dedicated to serving your creator is it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You're hopping onto you're hopping onto that apparent independence, which is just apparent. It's not real. It's not true. You're not an independent being, just like a ray of sun can't be separated from the sun. So too, like it's a good another, I suppose, analogy for it would be, if you take a cell out of your body, it will die. And another good and even more maybe more powerful analogy is a colony of ants. Without the support of all the other ants, every single one of them would die. The soldiers would starve to death. The foragers would get killed. The nurses would. There would be no. Just each ant is dependent. It can't live outside of the ecosystem, outside of the nest that it's a part of, outside of the organism that it's a part of. So how can it claim to have its own agenda? How can it claim to have its own independent existence? The minute it separates itself from the nest, it dies. That's the same with us on a much more fundamental level from the Rebbeinu Shalom. We are just an expression of him. And that's what he was getting to. That's why we're speaking about. And now it comes down. He introduces at the very where we just left off last week. The Alter Rebbe introduces the union of Dir B'Tachtoinim. Yeah, Dir B'Tachtoinim is Dir B'Tachtoinim means, the way I understand it, that we connect the entire system that he made. Yisborach. That's what Dir B'Tachtoinim is alluding to. It's Yichud. There's one thing that we know, one of the few things we know about Hashem is that he loves Yichud. Maybe that's his like the ultimate thing is just Yichud. That there was a creation of infinite riboy, of infinite multiplicity, so that it could all become one. And I suppose if you're an infinite creator, you could do whatever you want. That Reboy will be the most endless Reboy there could ever be. Because we say, like, when I was a kid, the smallest particle that people knew about was like the proton and the electron, yeah? And now, 40 years on, we've got, neutrinos and muons and all kinds of subatomic particles. They're like crazy teeny weeny little things, whatever, however you want to talk about them. Yeah, but well, who says that that's where it stops? Why would you think that that's where it ends? Why wouldn't you think that each one of those teeny weeny little things has not got a squillion teenier little things going on? Why would you not think that? I would think that, you know, just because that's just because our fingers are so fat. Yeah, we just haven't managed to see how much smaller it gets. But why would the Rebbeinu Shalom be limited by some kind of size of, maybe you could argue because that's what the Chatumim said by Makkos Kinim, that was only Hashem could do something smaller than that. Maybe that's Miramas to that. Anyway, um, okay. So I was there on this that we just mentioned above, yeah, which is the 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 ability to become the ability of Dir B'Tachtoinim, which means the ability to merge with the Rebbeinu Shalom, to bring him here, to become one with him. V'al tignu litein shevach v'hoidah lishmo yizbrach. And on this, Chazal were masakin that we should give shevach and thanks to Rebbeinu Shalom. B'chol boiker, every morning, v'loimer zev ashreinu ma tov chelkeinu. Yeah, we are fortunate, and look how wonderful our chelik is. U'mayafi Yerushaseinu, and look how wonderful this Yerusha is. This is the real Yerusha of Am Yisrael, is Yichud Hashem. Koloima. Kamoishe ha'adam sas v'samach, just like a mensch is very happy, but Yerusha shnafla loy, hoin asak shaloi omol boy, that when he gets a big Yerusha that comes to him and he wasn't omel in it, yeah, which is funny because we also get probably more of a geschmack when we get something that we did exert ourselves for. But in this case, it's saying that when you get something that you didn't exert yourself for, there's a big simcha. Cain v'yosim Cain, all the more so, la'ain kates, endlessly. Yesh lanu lismoyach al yushaseinu, shehanchileinu avoiseinu. We should be very, very besimcha over the Yerusha, the inheritance that we inherited from our fathers. What is that? Hu yichud Hashem ha'emiti. True yichud Hashem. What does that mean that we? What does that mean that we inherited yichud Hashem? What do we inherit from our forefathers? What do we inherit from the Avos? I can't hear you, Gavin. What?
Amuna and Chachma, that the ability to move vatal. And Nefesh Bahamas, that's Klipas Noga.
No, that's not what we inherited from them.
Both. Amuna is the Yerushalayim Avasa. That's the latent love.
Yeah, but again, you're just talking about the expressions of what we really inherited from them. What was it that they passed down? Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov passed down to all of their offspring.
A godly soul.
Yeah, Biduk, that's it. That's the Yerusha. Everything that you just said was what we are talking about, but that's just all outgrowths of that's just Toitsos of the Toitsos of the Nefesh Elokis. So he says that we inherited Yichud Hashem ha'emiti. That means because we are godly, the Nefesh Elokis is chelik Elokai mimal. Asher afilu ba'aretz metachas. She'anchelanu Aviseinu, hu yichud Hashem ha'emiti. Asher afilu ba'aretz metachas. Even in this lowest level, ein oid milvadoi. That is the dir b'tachtoinim. The idea of, see, did we mention this? Oh, Gabriel, you'll love this. I tried to explain this to Yitzi. Oh, this is a very special. This is very special. I nearly fell off my seat on Shabbos when I learned this. Yeah, that we know that I told this over to Yitzi, but we know that this is worth the whole. This is so special. Yeah, we know that the halachas of Yidden to Goyim are different to the halachas of Yidden to Yidden. Yeah? Shabbos Aved is different. Endlessly to start talking about them there. And it's very difficult for us to hear that because like we should be good to everyone. You know, why should it be that if I find something that belongs to a regular person, I shouldn't return it? Or I don't need to return it. Yeah? And giving shevach to the Umoisa Oilam. Yeah, why can't I give shevach to them, etc. Yeah. And this was the point. I saw it. I can't remember where I saw it now. That because the goodness of the Jew is not that he's just good. It's not that he appreciates another human being. That's factory settings by the Yidden. That's who you are. That's how you got made. That's not your avoider. Your avoider is to serve the Ribono Shel Olam. Your avoider is to serve the Ribono Shel Olam. So now it should be for the Yid. Yeah, whenever a halacha comes up where there's a difference between a Jew and a Goy, the point is that proves to you that your avoider is lishma. Your avoider is for him. It's not just because you're a good guy. It's not just because you appreciate other human beings. That's what you learn from the fact that the halachas between Yisrael and the Umoisa Oilam are different. Is it shows you, and it should be difficult for you. That should be difficult for you. It's like you said it by the it's like the Akedah by Akedah's Yitzchak that Avraham had to be kovesh his chesed. Because he was just like the nicest guy in the world, yeah? So he was told Dafka to shecht his son. So too, Am Yisrael, by nature, we want to give and we just appreciate other people. Jew, non-Jew, doesn't matter. But the place of Am Yisrael in the world is not that we're just running out a script of being a good person. It's that we are dedicated to the Ribono Shel Olam. So that gets expressed dafka in a way that we will treat the Umoisa Oilam differently than we will treat Am Yisrael. You understand that? Why not? The role of the almost oilem in this world is to use their intellect to get to a place where they appreciate another human being at least to the same level as themselves and maybe even more. Yeah? Yidden should be holding at that place by bar mitzvah. Naturally, that's that again. Don't get me wrong. Because we've been in Gullus for so long, we've picked up a Tevasheni in many cases. But the factory settings of a Jew, because his nefesh is from Klipas Noiga, means that he appreciates other human beings. They're more real to him. Almost Olam Yisrael doesn't matter. Even animals, a Yid wouldn't want to hurt an animal, Bichlal. Like the stories of the Arizal, they wouldn't pluck a leaf from a tree. A Yid shouldn't be able to kill a Jew on the floor. That should be difficult for a Jew. So the fact that when we find something that could belong to Akum, the fact that we would want to give it back, just like we'd want to give back the Aveda to the Yid, Hashem says no. Or at least you're going to have to work to give it back. You have to wiggle around and work things out to give it back, yeah? Which probably we should be doing. But that shows us that our avoida isn't because we're good. It isn't because we come from Klipas Noiga. It's because we are dedicated to the Ribbono Shel Olam. So the Ribbono Shel Olam says you have to hold back your chesed. You have to hold back your appreciation of other human beings for me. And therefore we see that the Yidden are mamash the Am Kadosh. We're mamash his nation. We're dedicated to him, not to goodness. We're dedicated to godliness, like Rav Mana said many times. The avoider of the Umois Olam, the struggle of a goy, is between animal and human. He's striving to be a human. Yeah. The avoider of Yisrael is a struggle. Again, we've been in Gullus for a long time, and it doesn't play out like this Lamaisa in most cases, but this is what it's meant to be. The struggle of Yisrael is between human and godly. We are the Ribbono Shel Olam incarnate in this world, just like the Goyim say. Just like the Goyim say. That's what we are. So we're not about being good. That's just that's the baseline for everything. That's what the blessed life is all about. It's just about getting people to be good, not about getting them to be godly. Yeah, that's just get good. Just appreciate other human beings. That's called good. Yeah, but Am Yisrael by Teva, that's where they're holding it anyway. So now, says Ribbono Shel Olam, in this case, when you go to a shop and a goy gives you too much change, yeah, your immediate reaction is to go back and give him the money. Why? Was this the right thing to do? No. You can give him back the money, but why? Because it's maybe shalom la'olam. It brings shalom. Not because you want to give him back the money because it's the right thing to do. Because Hashem said, no, that's not the right thing to do. You don't have to give it back to him. You can give it back to him l'shem shalom. But that's not why I wanted to give it back to him. He just overchanged me. It's the right thing to give it back to him. But now I can turn that into a mitzvah by knowing that I'm not giving it back to him just because I want to give it back to him. Because I'm a good guy and I appreciate this guy shouldn't have lost the extra $20 that he overchanged me. Am I making sense? Does that make sense? Think into it. Okay, it makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, so um that is the inyan asher afilu ba'aretz mitachas ein od milvadoi. This is the avoid of the year to show that there's ein od milvadoi in the world, meaning that I'm not here to be good. I'm here to be godly. To be godly, that you need a prerequisite of being good, but you have to leave your goodness. A Jew has to go beyond goodness. Like that's what I've been. I can't even bother to talk to people about it, but in my mind, blessed life, even when I bring in some Jewish proofs and sources and stuff like that, in my mind, blessed life has got nothing at all to do with Yiddishkeit until you get to Shalom Uvrocha. It's literally got nothing to do with Yiddishkeit. Be proactive, yeah, live life. What's that got to do with Yiddishkeit? That's just being human, yeah. Humility, again, it's about being human. Knowing your mission, do what matters, recognizing the other, same team mindset, listen silently. All of that stuff is just about being a normal human being. It's all about being good. Being godly is only about mitzvah. And that's why Avram was told to leave Lech Lecha, yeah, and the Lubavitch Rebbe said, to understand it, that Lech Lecha mi'atzecha me'lodatecha me'beis avicha. Leave your rotzonos. Artzecha is your rotzon. Melodatecha is your behavior. Beis avicha loshen av is your chokhmah. So Avram's scratching his head, saying, "Ribono Shel Olam, listen, all I want to do is just bring your name to the world. That's the only thing I want to do. Yeah. And then behavior, my tent's open on all four sides. Like, what more do you want from me? All I do is chesed all day long. I'm a really good guy. And my wisdom, you kidding? I was the first person to come to the Hakara of your oneness, etc. Yeah. Why would you want me to let go of any of that? My ratzon to be makar of everybody, my chesed, my behavior that's mamash givoldik and very kind, and I'm a really big chochem. I took my mind to the ultimate level, and the Rebbeinu Shalom says no lech lecha. Yeah, leave all of that because all of that was you becoming the ultimate human being. That's not what Yiddishkeit is about. That's not what it's about. Yiddishkeit is about recognizing that you are that ray of light coming from the Ribono Shel Olam. That's it. You don't need to know that to be good. To be good, you just need to have a little bit of seichel and to be able to appreciate that everybody else is just as real as you are. That's called good. But Yiddishkeit begins where that ends. Yiddishkeit is not about being good. Yiddishkeit is about being gewaldig. Yiddishkeit is about being godly, not good, godly. And that's what
That's
he
why
said.
the pasuk. That's why the pasuk continues, and there you'll become rich, and you'll have children, and you'll get fame and all of that you have to do for the Ribono Shel Olam. He didn't want any of that.
Yep, absolutely. That is the Yid is the one who says Ein od milvadoi. Not just like understanding it, like I've read by some of the goyim who understand it very clearly, but Tucker living it. Walk around my neighborhood, yeah. Walk around your neighborhoods, but especially my neighborhood, where people are literally living in a reality of Ein od milvadoi. Literally, like literally, they it's amazing how deeply people believe in the Ribono Shel Olam here, and they put their money where their mouth is. I'm saying they really do. It's not lip service, bichlal. That is the dir b'tachtoinim. The dir b'tachtoinim means that you've made space for Ribono Shel Olam, which means you've been mitzamtzem yourself. You've recognized that your sense of independence is just kachkabaya. Your sense of independence is not a real, that's not real. So that the more independent you feel, the more space you take up. The less independent, meaning the more dependent on Hashem you feel, the more he has place to come in, and that's called dir b'tachtoinim. V'zeh she'amar Razal, Tayag mitzvahs nitan Yisrael. 630 mitzvahs given to Yisrael. B'chavukok. V'hamidan al achas, he stood them on one. Shem at tzaddik be'emunaso yichya. Yeah, that the tzaddik in his emunah will live. Kloima, Keilu eino rak mitzvah achas hiya emunah levada. That's what it's all about. Emunah in the Yichud Hashem. Hiya emunah levada ki al yudeya emunah levada yavoy lekem kol tayag mitzvahs. That's what the tayag mitzvahs are about. It's about understanding that there is no separation between you and the Rebbeinu Shalom. That the mitzvahs aren't. That's like why Rav Manis screams so loudly at the idea of, chapping another mitzvah. Ah, I got another mitzvah. Yeah, they're not your mitzvahs. They're his mitzvahs. That means that when his heart is mamash b'simcha rabba, in his emunah beyichud Hashem, b'tachlis simcha, that he's experiencing the fact that ein od milvado, which basically releases you from every bit of pain there is, any suffering there is. There's only on him like this mitzvah levada. Vehi levada tachlis briasoi ubrias koile alamas. And that is the tachlis exclusively of creation and the creation of all the worlds. Bekoyach v'chius nafshoy b'simcha rabba zu tis'ale nafshoy l'mayla ad kol hamoinim. And then the nefesh will go above everything, beyond everything that's holding us back. Kiyum kol tayag mitzvahs, and it will be makayim all tayag mitzvahs, mebayas machutz, from anything that's, I don't know if that means from obstacles. I've written from obstacles within and without. Say that. Let's just read it like that, meaning that you will, once you've got it in clear that ain't od milvadoi, that everything else in this world is not something other than him, and all there is him. Just like you look at the screen, and I'm seeing me and Ben and Yitzi and Gavriel and Michael and Ellie and Binyamin again, and it looks like there's 7 of us here. But there isn't. There's just electricity. There's just a simple electricity that's giving the appearance of 7 different people. That's exactly the whole world. You look at this world with all the Sfarim and all the air conditioners and the chairs and the tables and the doors and the clothes and all the endless things that you see. Well, it's just exactly the same as the screen that we're looking at right now, where there's an illusion of 7 people, but really at its source, it's all just electricity, including the screen as well, is also just energy. It's all just energy. That's the whole thing. Once you get that really clear, you are gonna be an absolute fireball. The clearer you get that, the more inspirational you will be. The more people will automatically be drawn to you. The less you'll be offended, the more you'll be able to love others. The less you'll care about yourself, about your own pleasure. That's synonymous. The less things matter to you that are not connected to Torah mitzvahs. The fact that you scratched your car, or the fact that you missed your plane, or the fact that whatever, all just stops making a difference. Even you woke up late and you missed Kriya Shema, that won't make as big a difference to you as it would to a person who isn't on that level of oneness. Meaning, like, was it I think this Friday night, I fell asleep after the Suda, and I didn't say Kriya Shema by Rabbeinu Tam. I said it a little. I try and always say Kriya Shema after Rabbeinu Tam also, and usually I'm Shabbos over the years. It's been many times when I haven't said Kriya Shema, and it always eats me up. And then, but as you get more in sync with oneness, it bothers you that you didn't say Kriya Shema, but at the same time you realize that was out of your, you fell asleep, and it becomes less Diamond. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? it's not so personal anymore. It's not personal. It's about it's his. So it's more complicated what I'm saying, but it in many ways, it just allows you to function much more effectively. You can get over things so much quicker. You can put more energy into things. Things don't upset you. Things don't offend you. Things don't stare you. You're not getting distracted by your pleasure. Um, V'zeu she'amar b'emunah, so yichya daika, in your emuna you will live, is what I was just saying. The dafka living, k'tchias amesim, that's the in tchias amesim. I don't understand that. Derech Moshel. Kach tichya nafshay b'simcha rabba. This bit is what we just said. His nefesh will be alive b'simcha rabba. Yezu vehi simcha kafula mukupeles. It's a doubled up simcha. Yeah, why? Ki milvad simchas, except from the simchas and nefesh, hamaskeles shebikivas Hashem, that the intelligent soul is experiencing that kivas Hashem, the dirasoi itay imoy, and the fact that Hashem is with him. Oid zois yismach bekifloim besimchas Hashem, v'goido nachas ruach levanav yizbrach. The Rebbeinu Shalom is getting simcha. What does it mean, nachas ruach? It means he's finally going, I can actually get out of these like tight pants that I've been wearing. Meaning the tzimtzum that you are putting me through, yeah, Am Yisrael, because you don't recognize me. Yeah, that's like analogous to wearing tight shoes. Yeah, he needs to breathe. He needs to express himself. And because Am Yisrael aren't doing that, that's our job to be his expression down here. He's all like, that's called Galus. Yeah, that's called Galus Shechina. So this is called the Nachas Ruach. This is the Nachas Ruach that he has. It's like the Nachas means like the when you've got like trapped wind, when you've eaten a lot of like chillum, whatever, and you feel like blown up and you give a whatever, you let some gas out somehow, yeah. Lavdil. Yeah, that's this that kind of release, that kind of yeah, that's a nachas. That's a nachas ruach. It's an ability to express. I'm sorry for giving that as I've had that over the past few Shabbosim where I felt like someone had blown me up like a balloon, and then I was, then the air had to escape somehow. But that feeling of like yeah, that's the again.
I don't think that's what Hashem meant by ruach.
No, but Menachazur is just that the I'm trying to just give over the Inyan of going to the bathroom is in the Gemara is considered like a 60th of Gan Eden. That's the Inyan of allowing that expression in whatever way, however so I know I gave a bad example, but anyway, so that's the Nachzor of fun of his book. So not only do we get the simcha of having the Rebbeinu Shalom come to us, but it's doubled over in that he gets the simcha of coming to us. That's called Nachas Ruach Lefanov Yizbach. But Emunazu, this kafir sitra achra that we subdue the sitra achra. It's the sitra achra mamash that is what stops the Rebbeinu from coming into his world. What's sitra achra? What does that mean in this context? Is the fact that you think that you are an independent being and that you've got your own ratzonos and your own agenda. Yeah, and that doesn't mean you're not doing avodas Hashem, but it means that you've also got your own thing going on. Yeah, that's the iskafia sitra achra mamash. V'ishapei chashuchel nohira, and that's transforming the darkness into light. Shu choshech haklipus sheboilam hazeh hachomri hamachshichin umachasim umachsim al oira yizbrach. The klipa, which is the sitra achra that covers over with the humminess of this world and darkens and covers the light of the Rebbeinu Shalom ad eis kates until the end of days when K'moshe Kosov kates sham l'choshech. It's the end then of the choshech. Yeah, that we'll see that independent, that feeling of independence will understand what that is. It's not real. It's like darkness is an absence of light. The fact that you feel a separate, independent being to the Ribbono Shel Olam is literally just like the lights have been turned off. The darker it is, the more you feel that you are something unto yourself. And that's what will get taken away at the end of days. Dahainu kezi yomin sheyave ruach hatuma min haaretz v'nigla kavod Hashem, and you'll see the kavod Hashem. You have a ro'o kol basa yachtov, and your eyes, your fleshig dika eyes will see, will know on His terms. Remember, when you see something, you see it on. Seeing is you see it on the terms of the other. Hearing means you process it through your own mind, but seeing, you don't process it through your mind. You see the thing itself. That's the point. Yeah, befrat, but answers over goy in Chutz La'aretz she'aviram tamei, where the avir is tamei, umale klipas v'sitra achra, and it's full of klipas and sitra achra. Ve'ein simcha lefanav yizbrach ka'oira v'simcha k'yison or habam and choshech daika, and that is the ultimate simcha for the Ribbono Shel Olam, to see the choshech become light. And that's what, there's a beautiful quote in that book, Bringing Heaven Down to Earth, about Hashem made of an empty vacuum so that He could fill it with light. That was the point of the Chalal HaPanui. He moved himself to the side, so to speak, so that He could fill it with light. Yismach Yisrael ba'osav. They are happy in their Maker. Perush. Shkomi Shu Mizer Yisrael. Every year, Yeshal Yismach b'simchas Hashem. He should be besimcha in his simchas Hashem. Asher sas v'samach b'dirasei b'tachtoinim. That is the simcha of the yid, that you are a place where he can live. Like we just said in last week's parsha, shechanti b'soicham, that He will dwell within you. That is what a dira. That's what the Mishkan was. The Mishkan was a dira. That's, by the way, what it's called, the Dalad Amos of Halacha. Dalad Amos is the inyan of a dira. Yeah, you don't have a dira less than Dalad Amos. So the whole inyan of dira b'tachtoinim, which is the Mishkan, which now the Mishkan's gone, it's Dalad Amos of Halacha, means that in you're the dira. You're the dira. So in that sense, the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash is the ultimate aliyah, because now Hashem can actually come into the yid bifrat, as opposed to into some kind of binyan in itself. That's what it means. That was means Dalad Amos v'Lacha. Shaheim bechinas asiyah gashmis mamash. That is the inyan of asiyas gashmis, bringing the Ribbono Shel Olam down into the very gashmis of this world, mamash. And that's what some of the tzaddikim say. One of the Messiah says, "A chelek Elokai mimal mamash." What does that mean? Not that it's really a chelek of Elokai. It's a chelek Elokai b'mamash mamashos. In the mamash. That's what a yid is. Not just a chelek Elokai. He's a chelek Elokai mamash. In the chumrius of the world, in the mamashas of the world. That's the chiddush. The goyim call that God incarnate. That's what we are. Am Yisrael is God incarnate in this world. We should be zocher to understand that deeply. V'zeh shama ba'osav, His Maker, loshen rabim. Yeshu oilam hazeh gashmi hamloi klipas v'sitra achra. That's this world which is called His Makers, which basically means His the inyan of plural, which is meramis to the reboy of this world. Shenikra Reshusa Rabim. That's why this world is called Reshusa Rabim. Etuei de Pruda, and mountains of separation. By the way, you could just as a very side point, but a very beautiful point, is if you look at the beginning in the first Perek of Tanya, the one thing he says about the Moisa Oilam, he says the Lashon is Ella Lehisyaer. All the good they do is Lehisyaer, which is like it means to make themselves haughty, whatever, to aggrandize themselves. This yai is Loshen Ha, Loshen mountain. Yeah, that's the inyan of the Tur de Pruda. Yeah, the inyan of separation, of fragmentation, of dislocation, of independence. This hafchen and nahora, the nasim reshusa yochid, and that is what the avodah of the yid is to take the reshusa rabim and be mahapech into a reshusa yochid. Liyichudu yizvach be'emunazu. In this emuna, using this emuna, the fact that we on a visceral created level are cognizant, I don't know what the right word is, are connected to the utter yichud of reality. Yeah, it's by exercising that chelek of us, so to speak, that causes the whole thing to gel together. And that is our simcha of Kirvus Hashem and his simcha of Nachas Ruach. We go up, he comes down, and the whole thing becomes one together. And that's chapter Lamed Gimel, which is also Bechinas Rebbe Shimon Bar Yochai, which is where everyone goes today because it's Zion Ada, which is the Yortzeit of Moshe Rabbeinu. And people say that Rebbe Shimon was a Gilgal of Moshe Rabbeinu. So that's Bechinas Lamed Gimel, which is Gal, which is revealing. And that's what it means, Dir B'tachtoinim. Now, this really is, it's really, yeah. Shkoyach. Shkoyach.
Shmuel, what did you, in the beginning, pre-recording,
Should I
what did
start
you,
recording?
yeah, sure.